Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to the 89th edition of our Cardano Developer Office Hours. I'm Darlis. I'm going to be your host today. So, whether you're building the apps, experimenting with Web3, or just curious about the latest innovation in Cardano, you're exactly in the right place. And just before we start, I have some exciting news. So Cardano Academy is offering us a full 100% discount for our CBCA exam. So this is a great chance for you to boost your knowledge at zero cost. So let me just share the voucher that you can use for that. So you can use the Cardano search office hours if you would like to make a note of that. Otherwise, this information is going to be available at the recording. That's going to be available in a few days. And now let's dive into this session. So in today's session is all about Web3 onboarding and beyond. And we're excited to have Jingles and also Santosh, his new team member from the Mesh.js team, that will walk us through the wallet as a service, transaction sponsorship for the user experience, and also they are going to talk about their new exciting tool that's Mesh.js AI. So without further ado, let's welcome Jingles and Santosh.
Santosh, you can go first, definitely. And Santosh, you can introduce yourself, what you are doing, what's your background, and jump right into Mesh.js.
Okay, I'm Santosh, and I just finished my master's, and right now I'm working with Mesh in AI department. For the last 3 months, I've been working on migrating the Mesh documentation to AI-friendly documentation website, and then we were building like chat application for like a chat GPT for Mesh AI. User wants to query something quickly. They can do it on the website, and we also pulled it out of the website and just plugged it into MCP server so that they can just access the documentation right from the AI editors. That's a quick introduction about what we have been doing at Mesh AI and my background. To actually give you a good overview about what we are doing at Mesh AI, I would like to share my screen quickly. For anyone who doesn't know about the new Mesh website, it looks like this, and we have a Mesh AI feature where you can just quickly ask about how to use blog first provider. Any kind of queries you have about Mesh, you can just quickly ask, and you get the answers quickly. You don't have to go through the documentation and search for it anymore. But before that, I would like to talk about why it's important to have an AI within the Web3 projects. So, when you look at other Web2 developers, they can quickly use the AI to build applications. And when we see the same thing on Web3 side, we feel like we are lagging back, and which shouldn't be the case. So we know that AI has been trained on a lot of data for the last few years, but the knowledge cutoff has been in probably 2022, and since then they just have introduced the tool so that AI can use search tool or web search tool to just access the information online. But as long as we don't have documentation written, which is AI friendly, the AI can't really access your documentation, and it might just hallucinate and give you some gibberish information. And so to tackle that, we have started with MDX format documentation, which is very AI friendly. And with that, you can at least get the right information. And then we started something called LLMs.txt. So this is the basic code backbone for AI to just crawl through your website and get the latest documentation whenever the user wants to, get the proper answers to his or her queries. So that's the basic purpose of why we need AI compatible documentation. And Right now, we have implemented few AI features within Mesh AI. So the first thing is I already told you, you can just use the Mesh AI chat within the website to just query. And another feature is using llms.txt. This is helpful for um, AI providers, and at the same time, you can just plug this into your any AI editor so that it can index it faster, and the AI editor has the whole context of what is Mesh and how to use APIs within the Mesh product. And the latest update, like what we were doing was Mesh MCP, which you can just use it in your AI editors. For example, I can just search for the tools. I already set up my MCP configuration so that I can just ask how to use TX builder in Mesh. I hope it actually makes the MCP call. Yeah. So it runs the tool which we built and then get back to the right answer. And with this, the development process is much faster, and you can just wipe code if you want to. But right now we are just in the test phase. We want to make it much more better. And with that said, okay, I got the response and how to use that. But now the bigger picture is like, are we stopping here at like just the mesh AI, or are we even making it bigger and actually including much more projects from the Cardano ecosystem? So this is our bigger aim. We want developers to actually have to spend less time and build apps faster in Web3 Cardano ecosystem. So that's our main aim. So later down stage, our vision is to actually include as much projects into our Mimia project, which we are working on, and then make it developer friendly and also AI friendly, so that AI has the latest context about what the project's about in the Cardano ecosystem. Right now, that's what I have to say about Mesh AI. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
To help also to some stuff, the data source currently, we are using 4 data sources, right? Is the website, our existing Mesh website, our Mesh inline documentations, and then a Aiken website, and also Aiken inline documentations eventually. So this will be what we will be rolling out initially, and these data sources will be used on the website, where if you ask any questions, maybe our website is not fully documented. There are some questions that's written in some ways we didn't fully document everything, but because of MCP as well, it's able to extract the different inline documentations and how we can connect to Aiken as well. Someone can really ask a question from on-chain to off-chain, and you'll explain how it works, what's the problem you're facing, and give you a solution. Likewise, if you are directly asking from the IDE, like your Visual Studio Code or even Cursor, you want to do vibe coding, right in your IDE, you can ask the same question, and the MCP will pick it up and answer you with the best context according to what your project has. So I think that's a very valuable thing to beef up, whether you are existing developer, pretty savvy, or you are new to the ecosystem, you have no idea, and all you know is how to write code. We are also welcoming that kind of developer into the ecosystem. Yes, Satya.
Yeah, I have a question. This is really good. I have a question about the MCP. Do you guys are you hosting a MCP server somewhere, or do I need to get your node project and run in my local? Why I'm saying, because there are MCP is like a crazy thing. Like now, every day, like thousands of MCP is coming, servers are coming, and then there are a lot of security issues around, right? If everyone has to host, bring this thing, run it locally, I think it's a big security loophole, because we are into crypto, and if you give access to your local file system, then it's a big thing. So I think if you can, if it's not yet deployed somewhere, so it can go through SSE and get this data, I think probably that will be better for our ecosystem.
Currently, we are actually hosting our MCP server on NPM publicly. But what your concern is really right. But right now, we are just giving the ability to get the latest documentation. We are not building tools where you can do transactions with the help of MCP. And we know that there is a threat when you give these kind of tools directly to the MCP. So right now, our project is just giving you the latest information so that you can build applications by yourself. So right now, there is no concern at all for you to worry about, okay, are my tokens are safe or not? That's completely safe. So you bring this Mesh MCP server from NPM onto your machine, and you just plug in your OpenAI credits so that you can use your OpenAI to actually get the answers from with the help of AI. Other than that,
maybe I'm very new to this, by the way. Maybe it's not. What I was asking: can the MCP server be hosted remotely, and it can be used over SSE through a remote protocol instead of I download it from NPM registry, which says again I have to trust your code and run in my local, right? Which is a little bit difficult for us, like as a crypto developer or blockchain developer.
Yeah. So we could actually post it remotely, but our concern was like, for example, some users like Gemini and some likes OpenAI provider. So our main aim was to actually make it easy for the developer to choose what the provider they want to use. So our MCP code is open source, and you can just look into it. It's just making one backend API call to get enough context, and then you use your own AI provider to actually get the relevant answer for your question.
This AI has been massively helpful for the recent India hackathon in this week, where there's like 300 developers. So in the same way, we are looking forward to support the CF, the Berlin hackathon, and also the LATAM hackathon in November as well. Next year, there will be also 2 more hackathons happening, and all this will be how we can onboard these new developers who have no idea how Cardano, how Aiken works, and get them start hacking within that 24 hours. And yeah. Likewise, one more shameless part, maybe just one about, which is we have this career proposal about this Mesh AI toolings, and it's about productionize it and add more features, adding a few data sources into the pipeline, that kind of stuff in the upcoming Fund 14 proposal.
What would it look like to kind of add a data source to it? Because as you know, and you already contributed to, we have this 21 most common blockchain use cases repository. And I think there could be some nice code to learn for the AI, or some nice data source for the AI. What would we need to do to make this as accessible as possible, and then to provide this as an additional data source?
Any project within the Cardano ecosystem right now is very welcome to actually inject their own project as a data source for AI, which we are building right now. And we just need to look at the documentation which he was writing, because the documentation from every project comes in different shape and form. And so for us to ingest into our AI, we need to do pre-processing so that it doesn't break while we are in the RAG pipeline. So all we need is just a look at your code, and if we need to do some kind of pre-processing, we would like to do that. But otherwise, we discovered that there is next year's framework called Fuma Docs, which is very AI friendly and also give you a lot of out of box AI features like generating LLMs.txt file by default, and making your website discoverable by any AI providers like OpenAI or Gemini.
Oh, thank you. The name was Fuma Docs?
Yes.
Well, if any questions, curious, and want to be part of these things, Santosh is in the Mesh Discord. Feel free to ping him. In the previous sessions, it wasn't this crowded, so it's wonderful to see much more faces this time. Want to recap on what has been done from the onboarding perspective, and we are thinking from an end user perspective. And this is a demo. And why we come out with this is after onboarding developers for all good, right? Also sounds good. All right. Onboarding developers for past 4 years with Mesh, right? we identified that there's still issues, right, to onboard end users. Onboarding developers is one story, but onboarding users is a very different kind of problem. And distribution is really hard. And user experience is something that, as developers, is not very second nature to us. So after talking to a bunch of developers and businesses, it's still a problem to solve. And this is why we built this. So I can show you a demo. What you'll be seeing is two products that we have working one after another. And in this browser environment, we do not have any Cardano wallet at all. In fact, we only have one big wallet, password manager. And imagine this is like Book.io or Socials or Igon, all these partners they are working with. And imagine your end users do not have any Cardano wallet. How do they connect their wallet, right? So to connect their wallet is simply using these services. Okay, I haven't prepared my demo for this time. I'm supposed to delete my account, delete my wallet. But imagine this box open up. It actually asks you to log in with your social account. Google, Discord, Twitter, and Apple. This means that it also works on your mobile device. You can Face ID, and it will generate you your Cardano wallet right away. It's as simple as that. Yeah. In fact, let me just log out and show you how the login process how it looks like, because it's much quicker than deleting the wallet and you go to the backend. Yeah. So imagine now, right? No wallet, and this thing comes up. You can see I can choose between these things. In fact, I can choose. Let me try Apple this time. Let's see if it works. Oh, Apple doesn't. I didn't allow for this local host. I think let's try Google this time. Let's see if I have a Google wallet. All right, I think it does not have. I see it blink 2 times. Means oh, I have a wallet. I'm sorry. I think I test on every platform out there. But as you can see, I'm allowed to choose which social login, and I get a Cardano wallet right away. So this is onboarding, very seamless. And the second demo I'll show you is transaction sponsorship. Because as a newcomer, I do not have any cryptocurrencies or ADA or anything bubble fees or whatever to claim an airdrop. Someone got to pay for the network fees, and this is where transaction sponsorship comes in. We manage the UTXOs. How the UTXO is being managed is also open source, so you can actually see the logic of how we actually prepare the UTXO and make it part of the transaction sponsorship. As you can see, it asks for recovery. This is not a very common thing because this is a new device. Like I say, I just log in with Google, and apparently on this device, I do not have the local key, which I need to recover. So 1111, I guess my password maybe is 1111. Let me try. Oh, yeah. As you can see, the transaction sponsorship actually kicks in, inputs and outputs, and we can see this is actually the sponsor wallet, and all the user need to do is to type in their spending password. Very seamless, right? As you can see, what just happened is an end user who do not have a Cardano wallet managed to connect his wallet, a new wallet with his social account, and claim some or basically interact with your application without having a cryptocurrency in their wallet. And with this, we can go to pre-prod and then see it is actually for real. And it's not only for real, but it's also for real on the mainnet. So this is a transaction that happened. This is my user wallet, one of my mainnet user wallet. This is mainnet. And I have 2 transactions and 2 assets here. Mesh token, 2 of them, because I claimed this token on mainnet twice without holding any tokens. And this is where the transaction sponsorship actually kicks in to sponsor for the transaction. Yeah, it's not available yet. So this is the update. Up and coming, the next thing that we're working in progress right now, we have already KYB and done our on-ramp integrations on the testnet perspective. This means that end user will be able to connect their bank account, credit card, PayPal, or Apple Pay, Google Pay, all these things depend on which country they are from. And if less than $600, they do not have to go through the KYC process, and they are able to buy crypto right away. This means that if you are socials or you're rare evil, you want to sell tickets and everything like that, all the person need to do is to connect their Google, first step. Second, put in their credit card. And third step is to buy the ticket right away. And by doing so, they also use the crypto to on-ramp and hold the NFTs, because, for example, Red Evil do issues NFT for thanks for coming. So in the same way, CF has many of these proof of attendance and book.io with John issuing the books. You want to airdrop your books, you want to claim your books. All these are very good use case of how this can be part of the onboarding journey. In up and coming next week, Token 2024, Adam Dean is also using this. If you remember what happened in Red Evil, there's this vending machine, and everyone struggles to set up their wallet on their mobile wallet, because there's seed phrase, there's like, oh, this doesn't work, let's try Begin, let's try Vesper. There's a lot of these things happening. I even need to download the app on my mobile phone. So in Token 24, what we are trying out is to log in Google on their phone using Face ID, and they get a wallet. Right away, they can play with the Hydra vending machine right away and sign transaction, claim all the different Hydra tokens living on Hydra, and there's adoption and use cases we're talking about here. So if you're interested, check out our website, utxos.dev, and how it works and everything is all written inside here. All right.
Jingles, we have two questions in the chat. So the first one is if you could explain how you go from myself at Gmail to private key and how each always get the same private key for that account.
So usually you generate a mnemonic, 24 words, great, that derives to a private key and then public key and then address. And the social login feature removes the need for a user to remember his mnemonic. But I guess there is a way to go from my email address to a private key, and I'm very curious how that actually works.
Yeah. So this solution, what I've created, is not new in the world. I copy and paste what works on Privy. And exactly how it works on Privy, this is Privy version 1.0. Privy has reached the next version right now, but this is what it used to work. And every key, just now you saw the iframe that pop up. There's a reason why iframe is separate from the developer apps. This means that the developer, whether Socials or Icon or Red Evil or FC Barcelona, they won't be able to extract the mnemonic. Yes, you're right. Underneath it, everything underneath it is still some kind of private key. So this private key is being sharded right away into 3 different key shards. Just now you saw when during my demo, it asked for the recovery process. Why? Because I do not have the device key in my device. So what happens is the authentication and the recovery share being kicked in and ask for, hi, do you want to recover? When I do the recovering, it's actually reconstructing these 3 key share and then store the device share on my device. So what happens during signature? When signing, 2 out of 3 is required. So usually it's the device and the authentication share that's required to create the private key so that it signs it within the iframe and it destroys itself after that. During the recovery process, likewise, only these 2 is required. Currently, this is our version. And moving forward, when passkey, we have already been studying and following passkey. Passkey is not fully adopted yet, unfortunately. There's Chrome browser, there's a lot of platforms do support passkey PFR, which is able to encrypt some data, but however, not fully adopted yet. So you want to replace recovery share to allow the user to choose whether you want what kind of custody on the recovery share. And right now, today, we think about seamless right now. So we are holding on to the recovery share encrypted by your secret answer. Sure. But moving forward, it can only get better. Why better in what ways, right? Better can be more restrictive in a way for some people, because it will now ask you, oh, do you want to store on your passkey? One way. Another way is, do you want to download onto your Google Drive or download to your phone, that kind of thing. So we will give different flavors for how recovery share should be managed in the future. But right now, this is after you authenticate, you will get this share. And every time you log in successfully on the device, there will be a device share. And of course, this will always be static. So this is how it works. And everything else is over here as well. So I also want to cover on the security aspect. I think that's what you're asking. So in order to get hacked, what is required to be done for someone to lose their private key? Classic case on our machine, if you have a keylogger and there's a bug that logs you out of your wallet, unfortunately for you, you are being asked to recover. And this is many cases how people lose their private key. That is the job of the classic how keys are being stolen. Or you type it you lose it. So any process in this way of working, private keys are not shown and not typed out. So there's no way to steal it. So how to steal it? First, I need to hold on to your device. I need to know your spending password. So in that means I need to have your phone, I need to have your computer, and I also need to know what spending password you have. Second thing is I need to hack your Google account. And hacking Google account is not just hacking Google or hacking your Discord account. Because by hacking your Google account, it also means that your OTP is being compromised, and I'm able to like say, oh, I am so and so, I allow this to log in. So there's quite a few steps. I would say like at least 3 layers of what you have, what you own, kind of security in place right now to make sure that this is sound, safe enough. And yeah, indeed, we did talk to a bunch of developers. They say, hey, what's this design is how it is? What do you think? In the ease of use, easy to adopt, no cost, super fast, in that kind of matrix that we measure, what is needed for the projects right now to succeed and adopt the end users onto Cardano. So hopefully this helps, but yeah, I'll send this link and interested you can read more.
Yeah, I think there are some catalyst proposal about GK login, which also supposed to support social login through GK. Are you guys also looking into those, or how different to that?
Not at all, actually, to be honest with you. There's problem with ZK and all the other fanciful ways. As you see, there's always cost to something. When you talk about smart contract, there's tokens to be minted. Someone got to pay for the minting fees. When it comes to ZK, maybe there's proving, there's time, there's slowness to it. So all these are very high costs for end users. So here we are thinking about what is ultra safe enough. Ultra safe, what does it mean, right? It's adopted by the industry in the EVM world. And also what is acceptable by the user. People welcome Google login and having ease of use rather than having difficulties. So people would rather have ease of use rather than facing multiple steps. So yeah, answer is we are not looking at smart contracts, ZK, or anything that's too high-tech offensive. This entire project is pure cryptography, right? How we shard, how we keep things safe is a good enough solution with kind of no compromise. It can only get better, I would say. But we will never compromise in terms of speed and ease of use. That's very critical in how I feel.
Are you talking currently to other or to wallet developers? Because I think it would be really, really powerful if this would actually bring the connection from I say no coiner or someone that doesn't work with blockchain before, and then was onboarded through maybe an event where they could claim a book from Book.io or maybe a movie from Stuff.io or whatever, and then but if they are in the application later, most of the dApps, I mean, they are connect with wallets, and if there would be connection between I have no wallet, but I was able to receive something, and now I can restore my wallet also within a classic wallet application to then be able to connect to the traditional infrastructure, let's say, so to the traditional Web3 infrastructure. This would be really powerful.
Indeed. We are talking to Lace and Eternal, and this is something that I learned after building, and we refactor the entire skeleton, the backbone, after talking to them. We realized that we cannot have one partition of keys. That means one collection of keys. When we talk about wallet users or wallet application or wallet dApp developers, they still want to use their own UI. What does that mean? That means that I need to release the seed to them. That is a problem if I share across every this type of super user. Why? Because imagine if one wallet A, I don't name which wallet is the naughty one. One wallet A is they steal seed phrases. And unfortunately, other wallets, including Mesh UTXO services, we also use the same. Then we don't know which wallet is the one that compromising the seed phrase. So because of that, we created a new mechanism where if you are a wallet type of user, we have a special partition for you. kind of like an enterprise plan kind of feature. You are very special. Every user on board is your user. And this is something that we learned after hacking for, I think, somewhere 6 months after we launched, and we start talking to the wallets, and we realized that, oh, we actually need to partition addresses and wallets as well because of this kind of use case. So that's number one. I forgot something else, but I hope that answers you. Yes, we are talking to wallets, and we realize we need partition.
That's pretty cool.
Also, our goal here is not to become like the mega wallet. Our goal here is to make the first step easy. Like I said, during the conference, right, Token and Red Evo, people struggle with setting up wallet. But as people get onboarded within the 10 seconds, they start to play the game. They play with the higher drum vending machine and whatever not. And they become crypto savvy. Let's say, imagine out of 100 people, 10 become crypto savvy. Now they can export their seed phrases. Within our platform, you can actually export your seed phrase, and the iframe will pop up and ask you for a bunch of things to decrypt all the key shares that I just showed you just now. And then the actual seed phrase of 24 character words, 24 words will actually appear. And you can use that and load into your CIP wallet and whatnot later on. So all our wallets are exportable by the end user. And throughout this whole process, neither the app developers nor myself are able to sign a transaction or recover your wallet. So if you lose your Google account, you lose your spending password is fine, it's recoverable. But if you lose your Google account or you forgot your recovery answer, then yeah, it's not recoverable forever. So we don't have the support to recover your wallet in that sense. But if you remember some of these answers and whether your spending password or your recovery answers, then yeah, it's recoverable. So what I'm trying to say is very recoverable and also is exportable. So our hope is to let more developers know about this thing. Currently, there's a bunch of existing apps already integrated. One of them is also Bottega. So for Bottega use case is they are betting, right? So they want to log in Google, and with our on-ramp, people can actually start betting right away. And I'll also tell them, hey, how about you also transaction sponsorship? Imagine every user you sponsor one transaction, let's say 5 ADA. User will be able to onboard and bet on something, and maybe they can win money right away. And that is a gambling thing, right? If people start to earn money, they'll be like, oh, wow, this is fun. And then they start to put on their credit card and then bet some more. So that kind of use case is very interesting for adoption as well. Yeah, I think it's slower and definitely slower. Personally, I have not tried ZK login like very technical depth-wise perspective in the study, but ZK is really cool. But for today, definitely we are not looking into that. And our goal here is to really MVP. Think from business perspective or product perspective is to really push out to the market, give it to you guys, all you developers, very clever, have all a relationship with different people. What do you think? Then we start to listen, and then a lot of people say, oh, ZK is ready, ZK is very everything. Then we'll start, okay, let's look into that. And then we will put the next piece into the picture and make it even better. So our first bottom line is already very good cryptography sound. The next step is only improve whether is it more secure, make it even faster, now it's already free. I don't think you can make it cheaper. So it's about improving that kind of matrix over time.
No, what I meant is not, I understand that it's more complicated, but in some cases there might be advantages, but there might be actually no advantages. So my question was, are there actually advantages on the ZK logging compared to this solution? Because if there are not, then it's better not to proceed there if there are only disadvantages. Yeah, so that's where I was going with. Maybe I was misunderstood what I meant.
Yeah. To be honest, I have not seen the advantages. And like I say, I architect this thing based on what works on EVM. It's fully copied from EVM. What works and acceptable by the crypto industry over there is a very big world, and how people use apps and how people interact with apps. And what we are doing here is, after building Mesh for multiple years, we understand how we can build from ground up. And we simply build from ground up. Make the same feeling what Fireblocks is providing, what Privy is providing. How can we give the same experience to Cardano as well? So that's what we are trying to do here. We are trying to be the Fireblocks for Cardano.
Oh, okay. That's ambitious. I have another question. Have you ever thought about, or are you even maybe working on it already, to have some sort of crypto custody wallet, like for enterprises? What I mean by that is that not that the assets are owned by the user, but the assets are custodied by the enterprise. And if the user, it's almost like an exchange, right? And if the user wants, he can transfer from the custody, like a federated wallet of a business, to their own wallet and back. So they can transfer in and back. Have you been thinking about it? Have you been working on it?
Yes. So today we have two solutions that sound something that what you said. All right. The first one, I call it the developer control wallet. Like you say, developer custody. And this is wonderful for a bunch of use cases. Automation, if you are talking about AI agents, something you want to do automated backend processing or airdrop, that kind of stuff. User backend, that means a business custody. As a game developer, your end users don't care. Then this is really fine. This is wonderful. Then the second use case of where I mentioned about for the super enterprise user, I think it's not documented yet, but it's something to do with third party of authentication support. Something related to that is to partition the seed phrases for this set of enterprise. So for example, when I say enterprise, I'm saying like Lace Wallet, for example. I call Lace Wallet an enterprise. Why? Because after you social login, the seed phrase is actually released to Lace Wallet. And yes, Lace Wallet, hopefully not the backend, but within the browser extension. And by doing that, the wallet become alive, right? You can sign transaction and everything like that. So that is the two ways of what I meant by, to answer your question, developer custody. One is developer control, and another is the enterprise custody kind of methods.
Okay. And what about multi-sig? So anything like you would have a multi-sig wallet, and then we could have many, like with the HD wallet, we can have many sub wallets, and so that these assets would be spread over multiple ones potentially to avoid.
Today everything is single right now. Single seems like a decision we made in the early days where there's a group of developers who say single address wallet makes a lot of sense. So that is what we are like, okay, let's start from there. Let's not complicate ourselves with having to listen to n number of addresses to determine. Again, our objective, what is our objective, right? Is not to do this kind of stuff right at the start, definitely. It's simply to create onboarding frictionless. So every hours that we spent in the past, now it's September, so about 8 months or so, it's about fulfilling that kind of objective, make it frictionless. Onboard within 60 seconds, sign your first transaction within the first 2 minutes. That's the aim. Yeah.
Okay. But I believe you were working, or you are working on some multi-sig, because you.
That's right.
I met some of your members, let's say, like Queen, for instance, and he is working on this. So, what is the status of it? Still work in progress, or?
Yes, it's very much alive. It's used by the different communities, like Latam communities. They use it to manage their Catalyst money, and DRAP. There's lots of script DRAPs inside here as well, because script DRAPs you need multiple signatures to sign on behalf for the governance actions. So this multi-sig platform is being used to treasury management and also script DRAPs. All right.
By the way, what is the backend for this sponsorship? Is a smart contract, or are you using Fluid Token Aquarium, or do you have your own solution?
Yeah. So we made a solution. It's open source, so the transaction sponsorship parser is actually happening on the developer's machine, not your client, but your developer's backend, the machine that builds the transaction. So we actually created this thing. If you go to SDK, it's called transaction parser. So transaction parser, like what it's trying to say here, is to reverse engine. So what we have been building, every SDK, what we have been working on is how to build transaction. And transaction parser is the reverse of that. After a built transaction, the CBOR, how can we reverse and make it become a transaction that is not built? So that allows us to reverse engineer, and with this we can do passing the CBOR here, and you can get back a transaction that you can actually adjust the inputs and outputs and add in add whatever you want, and then press build again, and it'll give you a new CBOR. So this is the magic basically. Super technical here. This is a 3 months of work. All right, Dalisa, hand it back to you, I guess. Yeah.
All right. So is there any other question before we close this session?
Actually, I have one more. If nobody else wants to chime in, what do you think is the most pressing to work on at the moment within Cardano from a mesh developer point of view? Where do you see the biggest pain points?
Well, this is a very huge question. I don't think that I have the best answer, to be honest. But based on my character, I really love adoption. So that is what I'll be looking at. How products can be built, how I will allow developers to build product that works. And I think the key motivation is Cardano is full of people who are really crazy smart. And these very smart people, they are all focusing on writing the most secure smart contracts, most complicated transaction builder. And then after a while, they start to work on very good UI. Most apps do not have great UI, so we kind of like stop there. But even from there, those who have great UI, they do not think from what is business or what is adoption, what does end users need. So it's very technical heavy. Yeah, you can see that's how engineers really think about cool stuff and fun toys. And I think from where I'm trying to build a gap or bridge this gap of how fun things and very clever things and where the users are, what are the missing gaps. And that's why I partner with all these different people, right? For Andami, a bunch of smart people writing very crazy smart contracts. I'm unable to reach end customer, end users like FC Barcelona. Why? Because these are really normies, right? Who really have no ideas, but they care about fast and everything like that. Easy. And this is the kind of gap I'm looking at. For example, I look at Apoteka, right? They need this, right? There's this gap, there's like a end user gap. So my goal is all Cardano developers continue to build your best smart contract, the ZK. Some people do cross-chain stuff, which we also support in the free token side of things, Bitcoin, DeFi, and everything. Really crazy protocol and hardcore science and technical R&D. No problem. End users, there's a gap. And I think this is where my position comes in from Mesh or UTXO perspective to allow developers to build products to reach the end users. To reduce the time, to reduce time to market, to reduce the amount of time for developers to build their apps to go to market as well. So they can focus on their smart contract and core logic.
Do you have how many users do you have for the new Mesh AI system, and how has been the feedback for that?
Yeah, AI, Santosh, you have numbers, or we know the hackathons people have been using it, but I have no ideas.
So right now, a few days back, we just released our Mesh MCP server on NPM. So I see like close to 100 downloads already, but we can't really say what are the exact number of users who are currently using it. But because we also have another option of using like indexing the LLM.txt file within the AI editor. So right now we don't really have exact count of the users who are using Mesh AI.
The MCP, is it just about routing the request correctly, or do you have also compute capabilities or sponsored token usage from those LLMs? Like,
please continue. So the main use case of Mesh MCP is to actually give the latest documentation from our website or whatever we are working on within the mesh to give the latest documentation to the user so that they can build the products faster with the help of AI.
So in the latest round of Catalyst, I don't know if you have had the time to look at like everything, because you also had to work on your own projects, right? There was, I think, 7 different MCP projects for Cardano that asked for funding. I'm wondering if you got in touch somehow to all those different projects. Like, I know at least there is one from the No Witness Labs, and another one that I remember is a well-known team in Cardano.
So we already had a talk with No Witness Labs that we want to actually collaborate and make the good use of AI to like reduce the friction of not having the enough information or the context to AI editors. So we are kind of collaborating sooner to make the documentation and also building the MCP servers all together.
I would like to close the session giving a special thank you to Dingos and Jefferson Posh for the great presentation. Definitely the tools that you're building are not only easy to onboard new users to the Web3, but also new developers using the Mesh AI. And also would like to thank everyone for joining. Bartek?
Yeah, I'm sorry for jumping just at the end. Thank you for a great presentation. I got invited literally on the fly by Mateusz to join this call. He said, "Dude, you gotta hear this one." So thank you so much. Closing the gap for enterprise users is extremely important. You know, the onboarding gap, the kind of learning curve, huge thing. And then we as enterprise users, we have our customers, and these customers have to use the solutions that we provide them. So first of all, it needs to be for us. I'm speaking on behalf of Bike ID, and for us, for our enterprise customers, but especially for the end users, we have to find solutions that will be easy to onboard users. So thank you so much for presenting this. I would love to get in touch at some point, and maybe we'll figure out how we can make things easier. So that's 5 cents from me, and I'm sorry for just standing between here and everybody's lunch.
Alan, thank you so much. So thank you everybody for joining. And if is there any question that you might not have been asked or answered today, as Jingles Mesh mentioned, that is the Discord server from the Mesh.js team that you can always go there and also ask your questions. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great Friday. See you next session.